We are starting with the audio test using iPhone 16 Pro Max, and we're using the portrait video, so you would see background blur. And this is Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, again using the portrait video, 4K 30 FPS. Quickly doing the rear cameras, again in 4K 30 FPS, iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. So I think that's it for the audio test and portrait video. Now let's check some portrait shots.
La Luna, make me an ocean, backwards just like my...
We are starting with 1x or the ultra-wide lens, and right off the bat, you would see that iPhone 16 Pro Max has better contrast and also warmer than Samsung competition.
I've been chasing beauty and painted gold.
In terms of details and sharpness, I think Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is slightly better on this category. Also, you would see that the skin color is popping out a little bit more on Samsung. iPhone is just natural and warmer. On 1x, same tendencies as the ultra-wide. iPhone 16 Pro Max has better contrast than the competition. Also, I wouldn't lie, maybe the lens on S24 Ultra is a little bit fogging because it's -20 outside. But indoors, you would see that both phones goes neck to neck on some shots. You wouldn't notice which phone is which on a blind test. But then again, I think the giveaway is the skin color. The new iPhone is a little bit pale.
Middle of the desert, I've been searching for...
You got the extra 3x on S24 Ultra, which is around 60 to 70mm portrait shot. On 5x, you will see that the face distortion is gone and you will see a lot of details on my face. I think the details on iPhone 16 Pro Max is a little bit better than S24 Ultra. But the background blur on S24 Ultra is creamier. You can adjust this though on iPhone 16 Pro Max camera app. I think it's just a matter of personal taste, a little bit beautified on S24 Ultra and natural looking on iPhone 16 Pro Max. On the selfie portrait mode, they both have the same 12-megapixel sensor. Again, it's just a matter of skin color. It's popping out a little bit more on S24 Ultra and beautified, while natural looking on iPhone 16 Pro Max. But on challenging situation, you would see that S24 Ultra nails the focus and sharper than the competition.
This is the selfie video test indoors, so you would see a variety of shots indoors and outdoors. This is Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. It uses 12-megapixel f2.2 sensor. And this is iPhone 16 Pro Max, 12-megapixel f1.9. Technically a little bit brighter than Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I think that's it for the selfie video test. Now let's do outdoors for the video test. This is the video resolution test. So iPhone 16 Pro Max has 4K 60 FPS. And Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra has 8K 30 FPS, the highest resolution you can find on a smartphone. We also have the vlogging mode, the dual video recording on Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. There's no mode like this on Google Pixel and iPhones. What's unique on iPhone 16 Pro Max is the camera control features. It controls the zooming in and out of the videos and photos, and also change the camera settings.
On photo mode, you have 4 sensors on Galaxy S24 Ultra and you have triple camera setup on the latest iPhone. You would notice that on all shots, iPhone 16 Pro Max is warmer than the competition. The sky color is brighter on the older S24 Ultra and again, natural looking on iPhone 16 Pro Max. If you look on the colors of the flowers or plants, I think I dig the colors more on the new iPhone. Sometimes there's too much color on S24 Ultra.
Place when you slow it down.
Obviously, there's over-sharpening going on with the new iPhone 16, but sometimes this works really good depending on the scenario. I also noticed that if you go closer to the subject, iPhone 16 Pro Max aggressively switches to macro, so you would lose the background blur, but you get more details on the subject. In terms of sharpness and details, I think you can't go wrong with any of these two phones. And looking at the reach, you have ultra-wide main and 5 times optical zoom on both phones. But going to the farthest zoom, you have 100 times space zoom on Galaxy S24 Ultra and only 25x on iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'm so happy with the slow motion. Finally, Apple gave iPhone a proper 4K 120fps slow motion on the Pro version. We're testing the video quality and stabilization, starting with the ultra-wide lens. So you would see that iPhone 16 Pro Max is a little bit wider in terms of focal length. We're wiggling the phones a little bit for you to see the video stabilization. Now we're moving to the main sensor, or 1x. Again, 200 megapixel sensor versus 48 megapixel. Checking the details. And again, another video stabilization test. We also have 3 times optical zoom on Galaxy S24 Ultra. And you can only do digital crop on 3x on iPhone 16 Pro Max. Look at the details on that building. Again, another stabilization test. And we have 5x optical zoom on both phones. On the cell phones, I can see that Galaxy S24 Ultra is doing a better job on the stabilization. But this could change also on post-production, we will see. And wiggling the phones a little bit. So which phone do you think is better? These two flagship phones can shoot night shots on all sensors, from the ultra-wide main and the telephoto, and I think if you look on the shadows, it is better exposed on iPhone 16 Pro Max. Checking the colors, I think I like the more natural looking colors of iPhone 16 Pro Max, but I think overall both phones goes neck to neck on night shots. The contrast is just a little bit better on the new iPhone. S24 Ultra provides brighter photos overall, sometimes sacrificing the shadows and the blacks, and iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't mind the shadows to make it look like a real nighttime photography. I just don't like the aggressive purple tint on S24 Ultra. I hope Samsung will fix this on the next year's model. Also, I feel like sometimes iPhone 16 Pro Max is too noisy on night shots. Inspecting the details, you have better details on iPhone 16 Pro Max, and again, checking all the sensors, they're almost the same, just a difference in white balance. This is the low light video test, starting with iPhone 16 Pro Max. It has the same sensor as last year, 12 megapixel f1.9. Now let's switch to Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And this is Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, almost a year-old phone. Same 12 megapixel sensor. Both phones are shot on 4K 30 FPS, but both phones can shoot up to 60 FPS. I think that's it for a quick selfie shooter video. Now let's check the rear cameras. And lastly, the low light video test using the rear cameras in 4K 30 FPS. Both phones can shoot up to 4K 120 FPS. We're starting with the ultra wide, 0.6 on S24 Ultra and 0.5 on iPhone 16 Pro Max. A little bit wider on the iPhone. A little bit warmer too. Now we're switching Before we do that, let's check the stabilization. See the motion blur. Now we're switching to the main sensor. Look at the exposure. I think slightly better exposed on the iPhone. I'll check this in post-production. I think iPhone 16 Pro Max is better exposed. Again, a little bit of stabilization test. Now we're going to the 3x on S24 Ultra. This is a native optical zoom. This is the digital crop on iPhone 16. Obviously, better resolution on iPhone. But how about the quality? And we also have the 5x optical zoom on iPhone 16 Pro Max, as well as 5x on S24 Ultra. Which phone do you think is better? I think again better exposed on the iPhone, better clarity too. And this is the stabilization test. So which phone do you think is better? If you get the answers you need and you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button. I think the almost 1-year-old Samsung S24 Ultra is a great phone in comparison with the latest iPhones and Pixels flagship. It is a solid quad camera setup. I like the colors of the videos, and it may have a better video stabilization than the iPhone competition. I think the more natural looking appeal of the images on iPhone 16 Pro Max is better, sometimes too warm for my taste, but a lot of people might like it. And now it can compete with 4K slow motion. I think this will be a year for content creators using iPhones. They have a full arsenal of 4K videos.